You look at a massive, warehouse-sized indoor trampoline park on a rainy Saturday afternoon, and it looks like a license to print money. Hundreds of energetic kids are quite literally bouncing off the walls. You watch a long line of parents happily hand over $30 a head just to let their children jump for an hour. You do the quick math in your head. Thousands of visitors a weekend, high-priced tickets, and a business that seems to run on pure, unfiltered gravity. Behind the neon lights, these facilities function as highly volatile, asset-heavy commercial real estate and hospitality hybrids, where the fun factor generates terrifying liability exposure and crushing utility bills. That $20 to $30 jump pass you see everyone buying is a low-margin loss leader. By the time you pay your expensive commercial lease, cover your staggering utilities, and fund your baseline payroll, that front-end ticket revenue is almost entirely eaten up. The massive physical infrastructure required to operate this building drains the front-end cash so quickly that the entire operation has to rely on a hidden series of secondary profit engines to survive. Buying your way into this industry requires a level of upfront capital that makes most retail investments look trivial. You don't just rent an empty warehouse and buy some backyard trampolines. You have to build a highly engineered, heavy-duty indoor sports arena. This diagram shows a cross-section of a standard 30,000 square foot facility. Legally, pumping fresh air requires displacing roughly 20 cubic feet of fresh air per minute per person, which means massive HVAC upgrades. You also have to install custom welded steel structural frames, safety netting, foam pits, and thick safety padding capable of withstanding massive impact. Then comes the silent margin killer. Because your business is built entirely on children throwing themselves into the air, your general liability insurance premiums are astronomical. A single bad fracture or lawsuit can cause your premiums to double overnight, erasing your net margins. You even face bizarre regulatory traps. Playing the loud, upbeat background music required to keep the energy high means paying for commercial public performance licenses. Skip those, and statutory damages for willful copyright infringement can hit up to $150,000 a song. Meanwhile, you are relying on a high-turnover team of part-time teenage court monitors to enforce complex safety rules. If those young employees lose focus for even a few seconds, the resulting accident can trigger a devastating regulatory investigation. Between the heavy structural loans, the massive utilities, the insurance premiums, and the constant staff retraining, the core trampoline attraction actually bleeds cash. You have to extract your profits somewhere else. To understand how these parks actually make money, we have to look at the exact same economic mechanism that runs a local gas station. This chart compares the profit margins of standard gas station products. Fuel sales might drive over 67% of top-line revenue, but the margins are brutally thin. The real wealth is made inside the convenience store, where a cup of brewed coffee generates a 90% gross margin. Gasoline is strictly a lure. For an indoor park, the trampoline itself is your fuel. It is the high-cost, low-margin marketing tool designed entirely to pull families into your building, so you can sell them high-margin convenience items. This starts with mandatory proprietary grip socks. You buy these wholesale for pennies a pair, but because customers are legally required to wear them to step onto the trampolines, you sell them at the front counter for $4 or $5. That represents a near 1,000% markup on a product that is virtually pure profit. Next, you target birthday parties. You bundle a couple of hours of jumping with a private room, a few cheap frozen pizzas, and a 2-liter bottle of soda, and charge families $400 to $600 for the package. The markup allows you to extract maximum dollar value from a completely captive audience. To guarantee those sales, parks rely on captive retail architecture, similar to how airports force travelers through duty-free shops. This blueprint shows the required foot traffic pattern. You design the layout so the physical pathways naturally funnel children directly past the toy dispensers, arcades, and snack bars the moment their jump time expires. Parents who have been waiting for hours are already seated in central viewing areas, surrounded by vending machines. By the time the kids are tired, hungry, and highly receptive to impulse buys, they are locked inside a closed retail loop designed to extract the cash necessary to cover your massive liability costs. Even if you master the retail psychology and keep your safety record perfectly clean, you are constantly fighting an entirely uncontrollable variable, the weather.
During cold, rainy winter weekends, your warehouse is packed to the rafters, but the moment summer arrives and the sun comes out, kids play outside, and your traffic collapses to near zero. This chart illustrates the trap. Your massive commercial rent on a 30,000 square foot warehouse, your equipment leases, and your insurance premiums stay perfectly flat. That heavy overhead completely ignores whether your building is empty or full. You have to run a strict survival strategy. You must flawlessly hoard the high-margin cash generated from winter sock and party sales into a reserve, and then use it to quietly fund the massive gap during those quiet summer months. The margin for error is non-existent. If you mismanage your winter cash flow even slightly, your immovable fixed costs will quietly drown your business in debt before the autumn rainy season ever returns. A trampoline park functions as a high-risk financial tightrope, sustained entirely by captive audiences and monopoly pricing on a $5 pair of novelty socks.